The icy wind howled through the streets of New York City, rattling cardboard boxes and empty food wrappers down the dark sidewalk. Winter had come early this year, and the cold was cruel, especially to those with nowhere to go. Under a flickering street lamp, curled up in a tattered blanket, sat 8-year-old Lily Carter. Her small hands trembled as she clutched the thin fabric tighter around her shoulders. Beside her, her mother, Evelyn, coughed weakly into her sleeve. They had been homeless for months, ever since Evelyn lost her job and their landlord kicked them out. Lily watched as well-dressed people hurried past, their faces hidden behind scarves, their eyes never looking down. She was used to being invisible. But tonight was different. "Mama, you're shivering," Lily whispered, pressing closer to Evelyn. Evelyn forced a smile, even though her lips were chapped from the cold. "I'm okay, baby. Just a little cold. Tomorrow will be better." But Lily knew her mother was lying. Evelyn's forehead was burning up, and her cough sounded worse than before. Fear twisted in Lily's stomach. What if her mom got really sick? What if she died? Lily's eyes stung with tears. She had to do something. Just then, a sleek black car pulled up to the curb nearby. The door opened, and out stepped a tall man in a long, expensive coat. His shoes gleamed under the streetlights, and his gloved hands adjusted a silver watch on his wrist. Lily had seen rich people before, but something about this man made her heart pound. Maybe it was the way he walked like he owned the world. Maybe it was the way his sharp eyes scanned the street, as if he was looking for something. Or maybe it was hope. Before she could think twice, Lily scrambled to her feet, her bare toes numb against the freezing concrete. She ran toward the man, her tiny voice breaking through the night. "Mister, please wait." The man Daniel Kingsley, billionaire tech genius paused, frowning as he turned. His first instinct was to wave her off, maybe toss a few dollars and walk away. But then he saw her face.
Tear-streaked, desperate, brave.
Lily didn't ask for money. She didn't beg for food. Instead, she reached out with shaking fingers and whispered the words that would change everything. "Please marry my mom." Daniel froze. Pause for emotional weight. What? He asked, his deep voice rough with disbelief. Lily swallowed hard, her breath puffing in the cold air. "My mom's sick and we don't have a home. She's the best person in the world, but she needs help. You look like you could help her. So, please, marry her?" Daniel stared at this tiny, serious child who had just asked him for the one thing no one ever had. He should have laughed. He should have walked away. But something in Lily's eyes, the raw love for her mother, the fear of losing her, made his chest tighten. Against all logic, against every rule of his carefully controlled life, Daniel Kingsley nodded. "Take me to her." Daniel Kingsley followed the small girl through the dim alleyway, his expensive shoes stepping carefully over cracked pavement and frozen puddles. The smell of damp concrete and garbage filled the air, but he barely noticed. His mind was still reeling from the child's unbelievable request. Marry her mom? Who was this little girl? And what kind of mother sent her child to beg for marriage from a stranger? But then Lily stopped in front of a makeshift shelter, just a few cardboard boxes stacked against a brick wall, covered with a stained blanket. A woman sat huddled inside, shivering violently. "Mama," Lily whispered, rushing forward. "This man wants to meet you." The woman Evelyn Carter looked up in alarm, her tired eyes widening when she saw the well-dressed stranger standing in the shadows. Immediately, she pulled Lily close, her protective grip tightening around her daughter's thin shoulders. "Lily, what did you do?" Evelyn's voice was hoarse from coughing, but her fear was sharp. Daniel expected her to beg. He braced himself for a sob story, for desperate pleas for money. But Evelyn did none of those things. Instead, she straightened her spine as much as she could and met his gaze with quiet dignity. "I'm sorry, sir," she said firmly. "My daughter shouldn't have bothered you." Daniel blinked. No excuses. No manipulation. Just a mother apologizing for her child. "She said you're sick," Daniel said carefully. Evelyn's jaw tightened. "We're fine," But she wasn't fine. Daniel could see the feverish flush on her cheeks, the way her hands trembled even as she held Lily. This woman was fighting to stay strong for her daughter's sake. Something twisted in Daniel's chest. He had built his fortune on logic, on cold calculations. But this was different. "You can't stay out here," he said finally. Evelyn's eyes flashed. "We don't need pity." "It's not pity," Daniel said, surprising himself. "It's too cold for anyone to sleep outside tonight."
Come with me.
"Just for tonight," Lily gasped, tugging her mother's sleeve. "Please, Mama? He's nice." Evelyn hesitated. Daniel could see the war in her eyes, pride versus survival. But then another cough racked her body, and Lily whimpered, pressing closer. Finally, Evelyn closed her eyes and nodded. "Just for tonight," she whispered. Daniel held out a hand to help her up. Neither of them knew it yet, but this small act of trust was about to change everything. The car ride was silent. Lily pressed her face against the window, her breath fogging up the glass as she watched the city, lights blur past. She had never been inside a car so warm, so clean. The seats felt like clouds compared to the hard pavement she was used to. Evelyn sat stiffly beside her, her fingers gripping the edge of her seat. She kept her eyes forward, as if afraid to look at Daniel for too long. Every so often, a quiet cough escaped her, but she stifled it quickly, not wanting to seem weak. Daniel glanced at them through the rearview mirror. He had expected tears, gratitude, maybe even more begging. But Evelyn just sat there, silent and guarded, like a wounded animal ready to bolt. It intrigued him. Most people tried to take advantage of his wealth the second they got close. Not her. When they arrived at his penthouse, Lily's mouth fell open. The elevator doors opened directly into the living room, revealing a space so vast and luxurious it might as well have been a castle. Crystal chandeliers glittered overhead, and floor-to-ceiling windows showed the entire city glowing below them. Lily spun in a slow circle, her eyes wide. "Mama, look. It's like a fairy tale." Evelyn didn't share her daughter's excitement. She stood frozen in the doorway, her arms wrapped tightly around herself. Daniel realized with a start that she wasn't just uncomfortable. She was terrified. A maid approached with towels and pajamas, but Evelyn flinched when the woman reached out. Daniel waved the staff away. "Give them space," he murmured. He led them to a guest suite where thick carpets swallowed their footsteps. The bed was piled high with blankets, and the attached bathroom had marble floors and gold fixtures. Lily immediately ran to the tub, turning the faucets on and off in delight. Evelyn didn't move from the doorway. "You should rest," Daniel said. "There are clothes in the dresser. Anything you need, just ask." Evelyn's voice was barely above a whisper. "Why are you doing this?" Daniel hesitated. He could have said it was pity or guilt, but the truth was he didn't know. "Because I can," he finally said. That night, Lily fell asleep within minutes, curled up in the softest bed she had ever known. But Evelyn lay awake, staring at the ceiling, waiting for the other shoe to drop. Meanwhile, Daniel sat in his study, staring at paperwork he couldn't focus on. He kept seeing the way Evelyn had looked at him, not with greed, but with fear. Like kindness was something to be suspicious of. He picked up his phone and made a call. "I need you to run a background check," he told his assistant. "Evelyn and Lily Carter. I want to know everything." The game had changed, and none of them knew the rules yet. The golden light of dawn crept through the floor-to-ceiling windows, painting stripes of warmth across Lily's face. She blinked awake, momentarily confused by the softness beneath her. For a disorienting second, she thought she might still be dreaming. Then she remembered. The kind man, the impossibly tall building, the bed that felt like sleeping on a cloud. She sat up so fast her head spun. "Mama?" Evelyn wasn't in bed. Lily's heart lurched until she spotted her mother standing at the window, still wearing yesterday's clothes, her silhouette framed by the waking city. She looked like a statue, barely breathing. "Mama, you didn't sleep?" Lily scrambled across the enormous bed. Evelyn turned with a start, her face softening when she saw her daughter. "I slept a little," she lied. The dark circles under her eyes told the truth. A quiet knock at the door made them both jump. A woman's voice called through the wood. "Breakfast is served in the dining room whenever you're ready." Lily gasped. Real breakfast. She was already bouncing on the mattress. Evelyn caught her wrist. "Wait." Her voice was tight. "We need to talk first." She knelt until their eyes were level. "Baby, listen carefully. This place, these people, none of this is ours. That man could change his mind any minute. But he's nice. He's a stranger." Evelyn's grip tightened. "Rich people don't help people like us for free. There's always a price." Before Lily could argue, Evelyn opened the closet. Her breath caught. Inside hung dresses in Lily's size, tiny shoes lined up neatly, even a winter coat with tags still on. Lily squealed and grabbed a pink sweater. "Look, it's my favorite color." Evelyn's stomach twisted. This was too much. Too fast. She wanted to bundle Lily up and run. But where would they go? Back to the alley? To the shelter with the broken heater? Downstairs, Daniel sat at a table laden with food, pancakes stacked like towers, fruit glistening with dew, bacon crisp and curling at the edges. He pretended to read the newspaper while listening for footsteps. When they finally appeared, Lily practically vibrating with excitement, Evelyn hovering behind like a shadow, Daniel folded his paper with deliberate calm. "Good morning," he said, as if homeless women and children ate at his table every day. Lily didn't hesitate. She climbed into a chair so tall her chin barely cleared the table. "Can I really have anything?" "Anything," Daniel confirmed. Evelyn remained standing. "Mr. Kingsley, we appreciate your hospitality, but we can't accept dash." "Blueberry pancakes," Lily announced. "With whipped cream. And chocolate chips. And syrup. And dash." "Breathe," Daniel said, amused. He nodded to the chef waiting in the corner. As Lily chattered excitedly, Daniel watched Evelyn. The way her eyes kept darting to the exits. How she flinched every time a servant moved too quickly. The way she wouldn't sit until Lily begged. He cleared his throat. "I have a proposition for you, Evelyn." Her entire body went rigid. Here it comes, she thought. The catch. Daniel slid a business card across the table. "My company needs a receptionist. The pay is fair. Benefits included. There's an apartment above the office, small but clean." Evelyn's mouth fell open. "It's not charity," he continued. "The last 3 people we hired were terrible. You'd be doing me a favor." Lily stopped mid-bite, syrup dripping down her chin. "Mama, does this mean we get to stay?" Evelyn's hands trembled as she picked up the card. For the first time in years, she dared to hope. Daniel sipped his coffee to hide his smile. The game was just beginning. The elevator doors opened to reveal a gleaming office lobby, all marble floors and modern art. Evelyn clutched Lily's hand too tightly as they stepped out, her sensible new shoes squeaking on the polished surface. The outfit Daniel's assistant had provided, a navy blouse and black slacks, felt like a costume. "This is where you work?" Lily whispered loudly, staring at the waterfall feature in the center of the room. Daniel chuckled. "One of many buildings." He guided them past curious stares, his hand hovering near Evelyn's back without quite touching. "HR will get you settled. Lily can stay in my office today." Evelyn balked. She shouldn't be a bother. "I have Legos," Daniel told Lily conspiratorially. The girl's eyes lit up. "The pirate ship kind?" "Better. Space station with astronauts." As Lily cheered, Evelyn's protest died in her throat. That simple exchange, the way Daniel spoke to her daughter, like a person rather than a nuisance, undid something tight in her chest. The training passed in a blur. Forms to sign. Computer passwords. A name badge that felt impossibly heavy. When Evelyn was finally stationed at the front desk, her palms left damp marks on the keyboard. "You'll do fine." She jumped at Daniel's voice. He leaned casually against her desk, the picture of relaxed confidence. "You don't know that," Evelyn muttered. "I do." He tapped the employee handbook. "You've already memorized this, haven't you?" Her cheeks warmed. She'd studied it on the bus ride over. A well-dressed woman approached, high heels clicking sharply. "Mr. Kingsley, the Tokyo call is waiting." She eyed Evelyn with open curiosity. Daniel didn't move. "Jessica," This is Evelyn Carter, our new receptionist." The emphasis made Jessica's eyebrows rise. She offered a perfunctory smile. "Charmed." Evelyn recognized that tone. The subtle dismissal. She'd heard it every time she applied for jobs while wearing thrift store clothes. Old anger sparked in her gut. "Actually," Evelyn said smoothly, "it's Ms. Carter. And you have a visitor pass to fill out." She slid the clipboard across the desk with steady fingers. Daniel's lips twitched. Jessica gaped. In his office, Lily sat surrounded by Lego pieces, diligently following the instructions. She looked up when Daniel entered. "Is Mama doing okay?" Daniel sat on the floor beside her, wincing as his knees popped. "She's perfect." Lily nodded sagely. "She just needs practice being happy." The simple wisdom struck him silent. He watched as small hands snapped plastic bricks together, building something sturdy and bright. Downstairs, Evelyn directed her first Lost executive with growing confidence.
The phone rang.
She took a deep breath and answered. "Kingsley Enterprises. How may I direct your call?" Her reflection in the polished brass nameplate showed a woman she barely recognized, shoulders straight, chin lifted. For the first time in years, she felt like someone. Rain pattered against the office windows as Evelyn sorted the afternoon mail, her movements precise after 3 weeks on the job. The lobby hummed with quiet activity, interns scurrying past with coffee trays, executives murmuring into headsets. She no longer jumped when the phone rang. A commotion at the elevators made her look up. Daniel emerged, flanked by nervous-looking men in suits. His tie was slightly askew, a telltale sign of a difficult meeting. Their eyes met briefly, and something warm flickered in his gaze before he was swept away toward the conference rooms. "Your boyfriend looks stressed." Evelyn nearly dropped the mail. Jessica from marketing leaned against her desk, smirking. We're not." Evelyn's ears burned. "Relax." Jessica popped a mint in her mouth. "But you should see the bets running through accounting. Longest anyone's lasted in his attention span? 6 weeks. The words settled like ice in Evelyn's stomach. She forced a smile until Jessica sauntered away. That evening, rain still fell in silver sheets as Evelyn waited under the building's awning. Lily chattered about her school project, swinging her legs on the bench. "Sorry I'm late." Daniel appeared beside them, holding an umbrella large enough for 3. Water darkened the shoulders of his coat. "You're soaked," Evelyn said without thinking. He grinned. "Observant. That's why you're such a good receptionist." Lily wedged herself between them, grabbing each of their hands. "Can we get pizza? The kind with stuffed crust?" As they walked, Evelyn became acutely aware of how close Daniel's arm brushed against hers beneath the umbrella. How natural it felt when Lily swung their joined hands. At the pizzeria, sauce-smeared napkins piled up as Lily recounted her day between bites. Daniel listened with genuine interest, even when she described her crayon drawings in exhaustive detail. "You're good with her," Evelyn said quietly when Lily ran to admire the dessert case. Daniel swirled his soda. "She's easy to love." The unspoken question hung between them. Evelyn studied her hands, the nails no longer bitten to the quick. "Daniel, why are you really doing all this?" He met her gaze squarely. "Because you're the first real thing that's happened to me in years." Lily returned with chocolate smudged on her chin, blissfully unaware of the tension. "Can Daniel tuck me in tonight?" Evelyn's breath caught. That simple request felt like crossing a threshold. She nodded. Later, standing in the doorway of their modest apartment watching Daniel read Lily a bedtime story, Evelyn pressed a hand to her chest. The fragile thing fluttering there felt dangerously like hope. The envelope landed on Evelyn's desk with a quiet finality. Her name was typed across the front in crisp black letters, the Kingsley Enterprises logo embossed in the corner. Her fingers trembled as she peeled back the flap, revealing a single key taped to a sheet of company letterhead. Asterisk Apartment 14B. 345 East 76th Street Asterisk. Daniel's handwriting scrawled beneath the address, no strings. Evelyn's vision blurred. 3 months of working side by side, of shared lunches and lingering glances, of watching him become someone Lily adored. And now this. A clean exit. A polite dismissal wrapped in generosity. Jessica's words echoed cruelly in her mind. 6 weeks. The elevator doors opened before she could blink away her tears. Daniel stepped out, his smile fading when he saw her face. Evelyn. She stood abruptly, the key biting into her palm. Was there a problem with my work?
What?
No, of course not. Then why are you pushing us away? The words tore from her throat, raw and wounded. Around them, the office stilled. Daniel's eyes widened. He reached for her, then clenched his fist midair. Not here. The executive bathroom door locked behind them with a decisive click. Evelyn pressed her back against the cold tiles, the key still clutched in her fist. You think I'm letting you go? Daniel's voice was low, strained. That apartment is yours regardless of what happens between us. No matter what you choose. Evelyn shook her head. I don't understand. I'm in love with you. The admission hung between them, stark and unadorned. But if you take that key, I need to know it's because you want the apartment, not because you feel obligated to me. The vulnerability in his eyes undid her. This man who commanded boardrooms now stood before her, heart in his hands, waiting for her verdict. Evelyn uncurled her fingers. The key left angry red marks on her skin. You idiot, she whispered. I've been in love with you since the day you got down on the floor to build Legos with my daughter. Daniel's breath left him in a rush. He cradled her face with trembling hands. The apartment's still yours. But I was hoping maybe we could all live together. Later, when Lily came home from school to find them waiting, she took one look at their joined hands and squealed. Finally, she launched herself at Daniel, wrapping her arms around his waist. Does this mean I can call you Dad now? Over her head, Daniel's eyes met Evelyn's, shining with unspoken joy. The key, forgotten on the counter, glinted in the afternoon sun.